touch those curves again. You should go forward. There you go. All right. When you're ready, go to canter. Down the quarter line. It's all right. Down the quarter line. Circle again. And pick up the canter. Good. Stay seated. Where you're going. Keep your outside knee bent. And down the quarter line. Keep that outside knee bent. Good. And that's another reason you stay on your inside sequel and your outside knee bend. Is because he thinks, oh, we need to do a flying chain. Okay. Circle, and now you're going to go down the next quarter line. With your outside knee bent, stay on your inside sequel and leg heel to the wall. Good. And now the next quarter line, turn. Just pick up the canter, just ignore it. Yeah, turn, quarter line. Turn, good. And leg kick. Left, keep your right knee bent. One more time, keep that right knee bent. Otherwise he's going to give you a flying chain. Keep your right knee bent. Okay, good. You come back to rising trot. Rising trot. And then down there, change direction. You get on the circle going the other way, and we'll go the other direction. Good. Good. Now you're just going to ride the quarter line this time. No leg heel. Your left knee bent. Now a circle. Turn, 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 turn. Circle. Oh, sorry. That's all right. Just go to the short side and come down the next quarter line. No circle. Turn, 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 turn. All right. Come straight first, and now leg heel. Good. Good boy. One more time. Keep going. Keep your right, left knee bent. Turn, turn, turn. Yeah. That's all right. Go straight, and then leg heel. Okay, now go to rising trot. We'll turn on the quarter line. Ride straight. Now leg heel. Leg heel. Slow down. Slow down. Okay. Pick up the canter. Good. Quarter line. Ride straight. Ride straight. Now leg heel. Good. Okay, and walk. All right. So what will happen is you go to the quarter line and anticipating a leg heel, and then you please do the turn, you're already going to walk. So come through the short side, turn down the quarter line. What you don't do, you come to the short side, you turn down the quarter line, and you drift to the wall. Instead, you come through the short side, and you turn down the quarter line, you ride straight, and then you leg heel. See the difference?
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
And of course, he knows what's going to come up next. He's anticipating.
Yeah.
But you have to say, no, we're not going to do that until I say it's time. And that's why make sure that you can ride the straight line off on the wall, but the quarter line, without letting the grip or the horse stay with you and stay running the leg. Okay? It doesn't take over and lay you where you want to run. It's like him throwing in the flying chain. He just knows that there's got to be a flying chain somewhere. And as soon as you inch out of your position, left hand, right hand, you know there's going to be a flying chain somewhere. So then you do the flying chain.
Makes sense. So when we are drifting, is the outside leg be present? Should be, I mean, that's my aid. That's my barrier. Is my outside leg.
Well, not in part. But if you make this too strong, yeah, it should be there, but it's not going to block. Your outside rein is what controls the shoulder. Okay? So if you're drifting, you're letting the horse fall through that outside rein.
Okay.
So we can try this as an experiment. It's kind of hard on a big, long, stiff, older, stiff horse like this, but he'll do it. What I want you to try is, so you're coming down the quarter line, you feel like he's drifting. We can also do this on the second track, because then you've only got like a horse's width between yourself and the wall, and it makes it even harder, because there's less room for error. Okay? So you have to really, really fine tune your ability to ride horse in a straight line. But anyway, you come down the line, you pick your line, you're riding the line, and you feel your horse going this way. What I would suggest you try to do in that moment, let's say he's going to the right, so this is going to be the outside rein. And let's say he's lifting that way, he's following that way. You need to catch him on that outside rein, and what I would suggest you do is ask for a tiny counterflex.
Oh,
It's that much.
okay.
It's that much. You don't hold him. Say, come here. And what that does, look at the horse. So it's like this. And you do this. See the shoulder goes that way.
Okay. That makes sense.
In essence, what you're doing is you're straightening the horse. Because he's running through the outside shoulder. You counterflex him a little bit to the outside. His shoulder's going to move back this way. And then you let his head come. You don't want to drag him clear off to the side. It's just that. So let's try that.
Do you have a preference for which direction?
I don't care.
Okay, just go for it.
And then we're going to ride. Set him up like you're going to do a leg jump. So he anticipates a little bit.
Good boy.
Okay.
Good boy. Okay, so go ahead and pick up the canter, or not yet?
Just do it at the trot to start.
Okay, I'm going to do a circle.
Yeah, do a circle, and then pick your spot on the wall down there, and be really, really picky.
Okay.
Or pick a spot in the mirror. Like I'm right in the center of the mirror down there. You want to stay there. Counterflex him a little. Yeah. You see how that brings him back?
Yeah, that helps.
Okay. That's called straightening your horse on the outside rein. And again, so you don't have a mirror in front of you the whole way, but counterflex him. You see how that brings the front end over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the trick. Okay, you can pick up the canter and try it there. So you're just going to ride a straight line and pick. That's the beauty of the mirrors. You pick your window pane and you stay centered. Don't overbend him to the inside because that'll guarantee that he floats out through the outside shoulder. There, you got it at the end. Did you feel it?
Yes.
Try it one more time. Try it again. Shorten your reins a little bit if you can. Don't throw away your inside ring. Flex him a little to the outside and push him over with your left leg. Keep it flexed to the outside. There, and now straighten it. Okay? See, because now you're getting into the realm of shoulder in and all this stuff. Straightening the horse. Which is what I tried to do all day today. Now I'm bringing a horse back from some lameness, and
I can't believe that we were holding our lead. I think my butt was there.
Yeah, you keep your seat aids and your leg aid correct, and he should let you counterbend him, slightly like that, and not lose the lead. Now, have you ridden counter canter?
Not correctly.
Not correctly or not directly?
Or not intentionally.
Oh, not intentionally. Okay, that I can relate.
This sounds really stupid. Was it 3 years ago? I was working on level 2 with him, and I was not sitting on my butt. I mean, I was doing nothing right. So that's when, yeah, that's been it.
Well, my new horse, I took him to the little show up at Grand Junction that they just had.
Yeah.
And I'd never shown him before, and he's shown Grand Prix like a few times. He's pretty green that way, and I'd never had him down the center line at all. He's only lived here since December, and he had a hell of an adjustment when he came, poor guy. But so I decided, well, I really want to take him to a horse show. But I'm not going in Grand Prix, I can guarantee you that much. And he's not ready, not even close. So I took him at first level test 3, second level test 1, and second level test 3.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where I do counter him on him all the time, on all my horses all the time, because there's a lot of exercises that you can do in counter. Like if you were trotting, you'd be able to do like the 4 suppling exercises: shoulder in, shoulder out, renvers, travers, going the same direction in trot. But at canter, it doesn't work that way. So you have to go to counter and do 2 of them: the shoulder out and the renvers. And then in true canter, you can do travers and shoulder in. So you have to change direction. You have to go to counter for half of it. So as you know, at second level, they introduce counter first on the loop, and then they have you, like second level test 3, they have you do a serpentine, and you have to keep the counter without a change of lead. And he's like, this horse is hot off the aids.
Yeah.
He can not be hot off the aids like he was today, but I don't let him go like that.
Yeah.
And boy, I had my inside seat bone plugged in and my outside lower leg bent, and I stayed there in the test because
there's all these distractions,
Yeah.
and he absolutely focused on me. I was really, really proud of him. But I thought, I can't get sloppy here, and those
Yeah.
tests are especially, my God, first level test 3. Marissa was helping me because I was going to write 3 different tests. There's no way I can remember that. There's no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people come up to me and say, "How do you remember an I1 test? You always do it from memory." Well, it's easy to remember one test, and they all flow together. But 3 different tests, oh, and so we did. And I was super short on time because my helper, Kathy, my barn person, was gone, and I had all this stuff going on at the farm, and it's like, I can't believe I'm going to show my horse on Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, Friday was the only day I could show. Saturday and Sunday, I had a veterinary conference I had to go to.
Oh,
So I'm
gosh.
doing all this.
Oh, stuff.
And I'm like, oh my God. So Marissa was helping me, and we sat down. This is the day we're going to learn our tests. So we're in here, and she's got first level test 3, and we're thinking, oh, this will be a piece of cake. And then it took her 3 times of reading through it and screwing it up and then fixing it before she could even read it right, because it was just so complicated. It took us, we finally got it, between the 2 of us, first level test 3 in here, we finally got it on the 6th try. And then we moved on to second level test 1. That took 3 tries. And then by the time we got to second level test 3, first time.
There you go.
So, and I told her, I said, you have to come to the horse show. I can't do this by myself, And the beauty of it is that I asked the show secretary to put 2 of the tests back to back, and then the third test fairly close behind, so I only had to get my horse ready one time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I had like 20 minutes between those 2 tests, but then first level test 3 and second level test 1 were back to back. And if I hadn't had a reader,
There's no
the
way.
judge would have. The judge rang the bell on me as it was, because she got confused in first level test 3.
Uh-oh.
And she rang she was gonna ring the bell. She picks it up, and I saw her pick it up, and I just kept going. She did ring it, and Marissa had read it right, and I was doing it right, and we both stopped, and Marissa repeated what she just said, and the judge goes, "Oh yeah," We just kept.
Oh,
It's like,
man.
it's complicated.
Yeah.
So people who think that they can just go and ride, first level, it's like, there's a lot of cantering in first level, and they make you do a lot of stuff, and then you go to second level and they throw in counter canter, and then you got to really have your act together, and
Yeah.
leg yield and stuff. So anyway, but let's try some counter canter,
Okay.
and we're gonna do it right.
Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. This will be a learning process.
Now, because he's trained,
Yeah.
he's going to be looking for the flying change. You're not going to give him a flying change. You're going to come to counter canter, and you're going to ride it all the way through and then change rein back into true canter.
Oh, okay.
So this will be a real test of you being on your inside seat bone
Okay.
and having your outside lower leg back.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say you start in right lead canter. You're going to be sitting on your right inside seat bone correct?
Yes.
And your outside left lower leg and knee is going to be bent in canter position. Okay, so let's say you're going down the long side in right lead canter, and then you do like a small loop down there by C, and you come back to the wall, and now you're coming back on the long side in counter canter. You're still sitting on your right seat bone, and your outside left leg knee is bent. So you're still riding right lead canter, even though you're going around to the left now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And then where?
And then what you'll do is you'll come around through the short side and you'll go across the diagonal, and you'll be back in true canter again. So
Okay.
what was the question?
In counter, where should his head be? Or where should the flexion?
Okay, in counter canter, in correct counter canter, you go from true canter to counter canter. So if you're cantering on the right, he fell asleep probably. If you're cantering on the right lead, he's going to be in slight position right.
Okay.
And then you change that to counter canter. You're still on the right lead. He's still in slight position right.
Gotcha.
And he stays that way even through here.
Okay.
It doesn't change.
Okay.
The head is going to be slightly to the outside. Okay?
Okay.
So like if you're going down the wall in counter canter on the right lead, his head is going to be a little closer to the wall than the rest of his body.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So he's positioned right. All right, so let's try it to the right.
Okay.
So what I want you to do, I should probably do a loop first, but he probably knows this, so I don't want to wear him out. What I want you to do is you're going to go down, pick up the right lead canter, you're going to go down the long side, don't go too fast. And then I want you to turn down there and come off turn like it's C, like you're going to come down the center line.
Okay.
But instead of coming down the center line, head back to the wall.
Okay. So maybe like E or S.
Yeah, if you can, not S. That's way too sharp.
Okay.
So
E.
turn and be back at the wall if you can by the time you get to E. And then you're going to canter the rest of the wall. You're not going to go deep in the corner. You're going to stay out here, and you're going to make the turn. And then when you get over to this wall, you're going to look across and go across the diagonal. And then you'll be back in right lead true canter. All right? So let's try it.
Okay.
So up here, just pick up the canter in right lead and canter down the long side in right lead.
Do you have a preference for which side I carry the whip on? Or should I carry it?
I would carry it. I think I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
You
okay.
carry it where you're comfortable.
Okay.
Because then we have to open a whole new can of worms if we start talking about that. There's just not enough hours in the day. So circle up here, shorten your reins. That's right. See a little snooze there, so you woke him up. Now he's ready to roll. And go ahead and canter when you're ready. Okay. Now make sure you're on that right seat bone. Your left knee is bent. And make sure you look where you're going. So you're going to look at C, and you're going to keep turning. You're going to look for E to your right. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Ride for E. Okay. Stay on your right seat bone. You can use your voice to encourage him. See, he wants to do a flying change. So just when he does that, try to make your turn at C a little bit smaller so you don't go so far across the arena.
Okay.
And that'll make your angle going into E a little bit less steep. And this time aim between E and V to hit the wall, and keep riding. Don't get all tentative on it. Because if you get tentative, he's going to go, oh, yeah. Do another transition. That doesn't, that, come back to trot and do a proper transition. There you go. Okay. Now down the wall. Stay on your right seat bone. Keep your left knee bent. Yep. Keep that left knee bent. Keep the left knee bent. Turn. Keep the left knee bent. Right seat bone, left knee bent. Stay there, stay there. You stay there. You stay there. Turns. No, back to walk. Right there. If he changes like that, see, he thinks he knows the program. Good boy. Don't ever punish him for doing that.
Okay.
When he changes here, you're on right lead canter,
Yeah.
and he changes.
Yeah.
Just come back. Just stop him.
Okay.
Bring him immediately back to walk,
Uh-huh.
as diplomatically as you can.
Okay.
Pick up and ask for right lead canter.
Okay.
Okay. And just
Okay.
fix it.
Gotcha.
Don't chase him at the canter hoping he'll switch back or anything. Just bring him down. Say, no, I mean right lead canter. Stay there. Okay? But don't ever punish him for doing that.
Okay.
All right. So, start over. Keep your left knee bent. Stay on that right seat bone. That's right. That's correct. Left knee bent, right seat bone. Sit heavy on the right seat bone. Keep your left knee bent. It's fine. Try not to overmanage him. Stay on your right seat bone. Oh, walk, 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 walk. Turn across the short side. Bend him to the right and ask for right lead. Push him off your right leg and get him pointed down the long side and pick up the canter and right lead. Don't let him go to the wall. You need the space to take the transition. Pick up the canter and right lead. Yeah. Keep riding. You're doing well. Good. Keep going. Good job. Across the diagonal now. Yeah. All right. And walk. And really pet him for that. Because he just told you, you don't know what you're doing, Beth. But he did what you asked anyway.
Yeah.
All right, and that's super. When I first introduced counter canter to my Mustang, she just knew it was all wrong.
Yeah.
If I canter like this, the mountain lion's going to get me, or the coyotes are going to get me.
Yeah.
And she just knew this isn't right. This is not right. And finally I convinced her, I know, but just try. And now we have counter canter, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that was very good.
Okay.
So we're not going to beat a dead horse. We're going to go the other way.
Okay. Let's see. Exact same thing.
So now you're going to go left lead canter. You're going to turn small circle down by C, and you're going to come back to the wall between B and P.
Gotcha.
Stay in counter canter through the short side, hopefully. And then go across the diagonal back into true canter. And do the same thing. If he breaks, immediately bring him back to walk. Stay cool. Get him pointed somehow in a direction that he can take the outside lead again. Pick up the outside lead and finish the exercise. All right?
Yeah.
Even if you end up finishing the exercise in the opposite end, it doesn't matter. What matters is that when you ask for that outside lead, he gives you the outside lead. Okay? All right, so let's go to the left now. So you're going to pick up left leg canter, circle around, go down the long side, and so on. Stay on your left seat bone. Think about all these things now. Shorten your reins just a little bit. Keep your right knee bent. Stay there. Get on the wall. Stay on your left inside seat bone. Turn. Turn, turn, turn. Turn. Come back to the walls. Stay on your left seat bone. Right knee bent. Yeah, you're doing fine. Stay on your seat bone. Stay there, stay there. Oh, walk, walk. Pick up the left lead. That's your right leg back. Fine, turn him down the long side. Pick up the outside lead. No, walk. Pick up the outside lead, make very clear. Good. Good boy. Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, turn, stay there, cross the diagonal. Good. All right. And walk. And pet him. You might need a graham cracker for that. Very well done.
Good boy.
So that's how you start it. And actually, you're supposed to start it if you're correct. But I wanted you to actually write counterpoint. Okay, I didn't want you just to do sort of a loop. But you can, in order to school it, you start your left lead canter, you come off the wall at F, you turn at X and go back to the wall, and that little turn there puts you a little bit in counter canter.
Okay.
Okay?
That makes sense.
And then you can also do, like you can do your serpentine, you're in canter, but you don't have to go wall to wall. You can do it more shallow to start. A shallow serpentine, like this, and you keep the lead you're on, like that. And then you make the loops of the serpentine deeper and deeper. It gets better and better. But for him to really do this, he's got to be put together more, which he's not ready. But that doesn't mean you can't get him in counter canter and like canter down along the long side and do a big circle or something.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
that has more space, space bigger than this.
Yeah.
You know, that would probably be good for him.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that is burning through your mind?
So when practicing that, I'm having to really think about my body and being correct. That's my number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Once that starts to happen, I mean, like, it's less taxing on my head. Once I've got control of my body that's correct, then what can I start to do with him? Do I work on suppling? Do I work on,
Well,
I mean, or do I even worry about that at this?
yeah, you don't want to worry about that right now. What you want to do, what he needs right now, yes, he needs suppling, some suppling exercises. The leg heel is a really good one.
Okay.
And I would urge you to be really particular about when you start it and when you stop it. Okay, so like, you could even start, you could come,
And it's the outside rein to stop.
the outside rein
To
controls
stop.
the outside shoulder.
So if we're going and I take my leg off and we're still going, it's
Yeah, you
My
need
outside
he's falling
rail.
through that outside shoulder, so you need to straighten him first. Yes, you can catch him. A lot of times, what you can do, and what have been appropriate here is, let's say you turn and you start your leg heel. You're not ready to start your leg, and he starts to fall.
Uh-huh.
Counterbend the outside and leg heel him back
Okay.
this way
Okay.
to get him off that outside leg.
Okay.
And so he's not falling through that outside shoulder.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then when he's steady again, then try to start your leg lift.
Gotcha.
And maybe just if you're turning on the quarter line, and let's say he falls, and you counterbend it and you push him back, and you go straight, then maybe just a step or two, and then you can't keep going.
Okay.
If he keeps going, push him back
Okay.
until you get control of the outside of the horse.
Okay.
But if you keep pulling his head to the inside on the leg heel, like he goes this way and you pull left to get him back left, shoulder's going to go even more.
Gotcha.
So that's why I say slightly counterbend him. He'll straighten up, hopefully, if he hasn't really lost his balance. And you've got him again on the line, and then you gently approach it and not throw him off balance. But one thing you need to work on is getting your range shorter
Okay.
and getting him a little more connected and through.
Okay.
Now, I think the best way to do that on him is at the rising trot.
Okay.
So you would, and we can do a little bit before you get off, but you go rising and you shorten your reins and see if he'll make a frame for you, which I think he will. And you ride him a little bit into that. Okay?
Huh, okay.
He's done this before
Yeah.
for you. Okay?
Yeah.
But what he's going to want to do is stay strung out and stay long and have you carry him,
Yeah.
you know. So all of that realm of starting to put the horse together is a whole nother universe
Yeah.
that we can't address today. But getting him to move off your leg, left, right, forward, those things are preface to starting to put him together. Because if he, so let's pick up the trot, go rising trot, and I'm gonna put you through some transitions. Okay, so that's what you don't want. Okay?
Okay.
So you just sort of willy-nilly, in a disorganized way, said go. So what you need to do instead is you pick up the reins. Now you give him a proper go forward aid. No. Did he go forward?
No. Well, he did after
Yeah,
a
he
minute,
did. So why'd you hit him with the whip?
because I'm slow.
Okay,
Which I should be.
ask again.
Okay.
Okay, now take your aid off. Now ask and be ready with the whip and use it simultaneously and mean it. You weren't ready. Too late. That's not fair. Okay?
Yeah.
Turn him so he doesn't end up jumping out the door
And going to the trailer.
onto the concrete. All right. So drop your reins. All right. Now pick your reins up. It's one thing at a time. Get your reins organized. Great. Okay. Are you ready? Is the horse straight? Is he is he All right. Now, light touch both spurs. And you don't have to go that dramatic.
Okay.
That's like way much. Okay? And not so strong. Let your toe flop out, let your knee flop out, and relax. God. This. Oh. Did you get it? Okay. This. All right. All right. Now, light touch both spurs. Hands home. Okay. Okay, take them off. Now, position your whip. This rein stays here. You let that rein out. Get your whip back here. And now, light touch both spurs and touching with the whip at the same time. You mean it. Once. Not patting it. Okay, let your 8 off. Light touch both spurs and whip. There you go. And halt. Stay put. 2, okay. All right. Point that way again. Okay. Drop your reins. Take the reins up. Get organized. Get ready to walk off. Let's do that again. He's thinking about his dinner. Okay. Pick up the reins and pick up the reins like you're going somewhere. And he's not allowed to back up. So if he backs up, send him a little bit forward. You mean it. Okay. And he's not. Pull his head up. Come on. And give him a little kick. Give him a little kick. A little kick. All right. Now, pick up your reins. Stand close to it. Okay. Now sit down. Light touch both spurs and walk off. Good. And pet it. Now, if you want a better response than that, halt again. Light touch both spurs. Now. Good. And pet it. Okay? So, anytime you're going to talk to your horse, you better get your conversation sorted out first. Okay? Don't just sort of kind of touch him, pull him, do this, do that. You can't expect him to have a crisp response and be ready to do stuff if that's how you're going to talk to him. Okay? So the thing is about riding is that there's a lot of discipline to it. And I don't mean that in terms of
There's still a lot of noise going through my body and a lot of screws.
oh yeah, I mean
when
when you're like this and whack,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? If you want me to walk forward, pick the reins up, light touch both spurs, we'll walk forward, but get rid of the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and I'm going to say this to you, and I don't want to be condescending. Look, I don't know where you live, but I know you live out there off the grid
Yeah.
in the dressage world.
Yes.
Okay? And it makes it, and you probably, I don't know this, but you probably don't have people that you can compare notes with or ride with, or it's probably a good thing you don't have people to ride with because most of the riding around here is terrible. You don't want to watch bad riding.
Yeah.
But we all, because we're kind of all in our own little world and we're not exposed to the discipline of the sport, we can get kind of sloppy in our ways. It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
It can happen to all of us. Or we've learned something somewhere along the line and no one ever told us it was important to pick your reins up, sit up there like the Queen of England and get ready to go and then go. No one ever told you that before. Okay, let's pretend. So, gosh, who knew that was important? Well, it is important because it makes sense to the horse. And don't forget, this is a trained horse. So you have to ride him like a trained horse. Okay? And he will teach you how to improve your riding if you give him the opportunity. But he can also turn into the trail horse that goes camping for 3 nights. And he's happy to hang out tied to the tree, no problem, you know, when the ride's over for the day. So just be aware that when you put your foot in the stirrup, be ready to ride, okay?
Okay.
And even though you're by yourself and struggling by yourself, you know, I get it. I mean, at one point I was the only person in Wyoming that owned an English saddle. And I'm not kidding you, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I know what it is. But you have to have a certain discipline, a certain method, a certain routine that you go through that will keep your riding crisp and together and make you at least feel and actually be proficient at it. And then you can take advantage of the wonderful training of sports science. Okay? So now that I've gotten on my soapbox, all right, so what were we doing? Okay, we're going to do some transitions real quick, and then we'll quit. All right, so that's a transition. That's a transition from halt to walk, okay? So walk on now. Walk on like you've got places to go. Light touch both spurs. And he should immediately walk out. There you go. Good job. Light touch both spurs again. Yeah, at it. You don't care that he went off and trot. Now he's listening to you, okay? When you sit down in the saddle and you pick up the reins and you get all ready to go, that's when the horse tunes in on you. And they learn from there, oh, she's ready to go, I better pay attention. Instead of dozing off, you know? All right. So what I want you, here's what we're going to do. So I want you to just go to rising trot. Good. And now come to walk. And trot. Good. And walk. And trot. Okay, now on this next transition, keep trotting. You're going to come to walk. Don't do it yet. You're going to come to walk. As he takes his first walk step, you're going to ask him to trot again.
Okay.
Okay? So whenever you're ready, I'll do it on the long side, I'll go into the center. And go. Be a little quicker. And go. There you go. That's another really good way to keep the horse alive and alert and electric off your gate. Okay? And this will help him. This will help him get stronger behind the saddle. Now, then there's the problem of stopping. Right? So we've got to go. Now we need to stop. Right? Okay, so I know this works, know how, whether or not he wants to, is anybody's guess. So what I want back up and mean it. Back, don't put your leg on, back up. Sit down and pull him back. Come on, pull him back. Yeah, okay, and immediately give forward with the hands. Not that much. Allow just a little and trot off. Good. And we're going to do that again. So you're going to halt. Oh, you don't need to back up. Trot on. Because he came right back to you, didn't he? Okay, so anytime he runs through the bridle like that, you're allowed to say, hey, you're not going to drag me around. And halt. Good. And allow and trot forward. You can use your whip there. You can use the whip there. Rather than posting at him to make him go. Okay, halt. And trot on. Use your whip. See, there you're not organized. Okay? You put your whip on the inside so the wall's not in the way. So it's pretty likely you're going to need to touch him with the whip. Just once, not this. So when you do your halt, before you even do the halt, let that rein come long, your whip hand come longer so you're ready, and then halt, and then you're there and you're ready when you trot off, and you put light touch both spurs, and if he's not out of there, touch him with the whip and go. Okay, so try that.
Okay, so we're here.
Yeah, shorten your reins now. Okay. All right. Now, light touch both spurs just to go to trot. And use your whip. Yeah, fine. Back to walk. And trot. There you go. Okay, shorten your reins. Keep trotting. Now this time you can touch him on not the curve, but like on the hip. Okay. Okay. Walk and halt. Halt. Allow and trot. Whip. Yeah, good. Good boy. One more time on the long side. You're going to come to halt and immediately go to trot. Okay, as soon as he's stationary. Halt. Oh, rein back. No, rein back. Rein back. Pulling back front. Yeah, come on. That's right. And trot. That's good. And trot. That's right. Good. And halt. Good. And allow and trot. There you go. Okay? That all makes sense to you?
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It takes practice.
Yeah.
Okay? We're not done. Turn on, stay trotting, turn on the circle, and immediately canter. And canter. Yeah, good. And trot. And canter. Yeah. And walk. Good. And canter. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. And walk. Touch him softly with the whip. Don't go forward yet. Yeah. Come on. You can touch him on the hip. It's okay. Touch him. Wake him up a little. Bend your left knee and canter. Good. Okay. Walk and canter. Good. All right. Walk. Okay. All right. Okay. But you have to put yourself together. You have to, be ready to ride.
Yeah.
And then you can ask him to do this stuff.
Makes sense.
That's probably plenty for him. Probably for you, for everything. How is the traffic coming down here?
Oh my gosh, it's,
It's summer.
it's summer, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, this weekend is bluegrass
Oh,
and Telluride.
Oh, that.
I only know that because they serviced my porta potty like yesterday, which means it's going to go a full 10 days before they're back.
God. That explains a lot.
Clean now. Well, there's only just a few of us, so. Okay, any questions?
Yes.
Okay, fire away.
Am I okay to take the Comcast off for a second while we're?
Yeah.
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 My question is about Girly and practicing the same, not so much the transitions on Girly, but the canter, lead yield. Are we okay to start working on that? On the mare that I've had
Yes.
here? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Any particulars other than obviously ride correctly, don't
Yeah,
overbend or...
she is going to be a lot more reactive. And so the kind of electricity you get out of her isn't going to be the same, I don't want to say quality because he's a different horse, different type of horse. Character. The electricity, the character out of her is going to be a lot different from what you get from him. From what is electric to him is does not equal what is electric to her. Okay?
Makes sense.
And with her, especially have you been riding her regularly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like we're making progress on like not charging, being soft, bending, suppling, smoother transitions, and not being a whack-a-noodle. As I'm talking with my hands, but
That's all right, you're
But-
allowed.
Cameron might not appreciate
We
it.
all do this. Oh, he
Yeah.
doesn't care. Are you kidding?
So I feel like we're really gaining.
Okay,
on that.
yeah, because you still want the quick response, but you have to be careful on a horse like that not to override her. So when you go from him to her, the tendency is going to be to muscle in on her. Okay, because you just got done with him.
Yeah.
And he bamboozles you into muscling in on him. And I hope I showed you today you don't have to ride him like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Now-
Definitely.
Yeah, he's 22 and he's not fit right now and so on. But he can still be an easy ride for you by being responsive and reactive to your aids, responsive to your aids. With her being a different breed and a different training background, she's going to be probably more electric. And I don't like to use the word sensitive. I prefer, because the horses are equally sensitive, but because of the difference in their temperament, she's going to be more reactive. You don't want to kill that. You just ride lighter.
Okay.
You don't want to kill off her quick response tendency. And yeah, I mean, if she goes like overreactive when you go to canter or something, instead of thinking always, and I'm not saying this isn't true, trust me, ask my Mustang, that some horses do get super excited and they go kind of crazy, you know, when they speed, they love speed. And, but instead, think of turning the volume down on your aids. So when you start to become successful at that with any horse that is like her, they'll start to relax. and then they won't be overreactive to everything that you do. If they are just reacting to your aids, they're just reacting. They're not thinking. Okay? And so her tendency is she's not going to think first, she's going to react first. Okay? So as you approach, yes, it's absolutely fine. Leg yield, counter canter, shoulder in, whatever you want to have a go at on her. Absolutely, have a go at it. I think she'll teach you a lot, and you'll learn feel. And between these two guys, like going back and forth, he's a completely different feel than she is.
Yeah.
You know, and when your inside seat bone comes out of the saddle, he's going to tell you, because he's going to change leads.
Yeah.
She may do the same thing. You know, I don't know. But because I've only seen her once or twice,
Yeah.
and I don't know that much about her training, but absolutely, start doing these things. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. You'll know when you screw it up because it didn't work out right. Okay?
Yeah.
And then you have to figure out what to do about it. That's how you become a thinking rider. Is you ride the different horses and you figure out how to do different on each one. You know?
Yeah.
Let's say because she's from the background she's back from, that she's the side pass queen. And I'll intentionally use the Western jargon. She's the side pass queen. So you go to leg yield on her and she goes sideways. Now you have to teach her, okay, your sideways is fantastic, but we need to put a little forward progression in that. So I need to not be so strong on my sideways aid and much lighter there, and encourage you to go forward, like maybe 1 or 2 steps sideways and then go forward and try to somehow mesh the two. And that teaches you as a rider how to do that. And that's not something, I mean, I can say rider 1 step sideways, 3 steps forward, and then try this, try that. I can coach you from the ground. But then you have to go home by yourself and have a go.
Yeah.
And you've got to find that balance to achieve what you want, you know. So the more you try to do on different horses, the better off you're going to be, the quicker. And the thing you have to guard against, I would say this the most, being that you're out over there, you know, really kind of by yourself and stuff. You don't have daily coaching. Like some people can't ride without a coach on the ground. Don't get too wrapped up in the textbook stuff.
Okay.
And rely on your sense of balance, timing, and feel. And trust yourself a little bit. And I say that, I wouldn't say that to everyone. I say it to you because you are inherently athletic. Okay? You've got good balance, good timing, good feel. And your feel isn't honed and polished and highly sophisticated at this point, but you know when it feels bad.
Yeah.
And you know when it feels really good. You know? And so you, as a rider, you have to figure out, well, how do I get that feeling? You know, how do I make it feel like it is good, you know? Maybe it isn't good. And like you try to do a leg yield and you end up, the horse's shoulders are a full horse width over compared to the haunches when you look at the pivot. You know, well then you know that. And then you try to fix it next time. Okay? But don't get too wrapped up in the textbook stuff. And the reason I say that is because of you asking the question about, okay, which stride of canter do I
put my leg on. Forget about that. Go with what feels right. I didn't see you do a single thing today out of whack. Not one thing.
Okay.
And I can't say that about everybody, trust me.
Thank you. Okay.
You know that really, really clean mirror down there? You probably noticed one of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It got replaced yesterday.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not just super clean. It's super clean because it's new. And that's because the gal that wanted to watch the riding, and I told her no, and I told you to tell her.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason I told you that, and the reason is because I think, and I say this as a rider, it's not so much that way now in my old age, but when I was really learning and riding, just really learning stuff, you know, and feeling just like the epitome of clumsy up there. And then all these people come in their beautiful horses and their beautiful tack, and you know, they've got sequins on their boots and the latest in headwear and all this stuff. And here I am in my very basic, very straightforward, very functional everything,
Yeah.
you know, and my seat that was trained in Germany. I think one can become, as the student, become self-conscious, and you hold back, and you don't go ahead and make the bloody mistake that you might otherwise not be afraid to make if someone is watching. You don't count. You're her mother. So she's watched you do all kinds of bad stuff.
Oh yeah, it
You
never
know,
ends.
but that's why I kind of put the kibosh on that, is because I think when someone, at least when someone comes to me and they really want to learn, and I'm invested in teaching them, I want them to make mistakes. I want them to screw it up, because then I can tell them what to do different, and give them the confidence to try to do. It's that what just happened doesn't matter. Keep going, you know, that sort of thing. And you'd be amazed at how, when people get into a situation, like in a clinic situation where there's the peanut gallery sitting here gossiping
Yeah.
about the fact that she's got a green spot on her white leg wraps, you know, and various other nasty things. The rider, a lot of times, if they have a little bit of a confidence issue to start with, will really shut down.
Makes sense.
And I've seen it happen so many times. And I know that you wouldn't do this. You might do it out of utter and complete frustration, but not because you felt like embarrassed or something. I've seen girls, and I use that term intentionally versus an adult woman, just they're in tears because they're afraid to move up there, because they're afraid someone will laugh at them or make fun of them or talk about them behind their backs. Now, hopefully we're all past that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I am still dealing with comments like that. At the last clinic I went to just a few weeks ago, some people that are new to Delta, 2 women came in, and Lori heard them, and they were watching me ride Feeder World. And one of them made a comment like to the effect that, oh, I didn't know we actually had real dressage riders in Delta. The clinic was in Delta at Mary Duke's. And it was Sue Martin. And they were watching me on Feeder World, and the other lady says to the first one, oh yeah, but she has $1 million horses. You know, I mean, and Lori turned to him and said, that is not $1 million horse, but that's $1 million rider. And I'm still, you know, because you learn to ride and you can take a horse and do something with it.
And don't get me wrong, Feeder World is no slouch. He's awesome. But people say stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know? So that's why I kind of put the kibosh on auditing here, because I think the student is free to, in the mind, to ask the question or make the mistake or drop your whip in the sand and it's not, you know.
Yeah.
I dropped my whip twice today.
You were probably doing yours correctly, unlike myself. I remember that.
So, yeah, but getting back to what we were talking about, do this stuff. Look it up, like you can go to somewhere basic to get the picture
Right.
of what a shoulder is supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
3 tracks. And then try to do it.
I'm glad that you mentioned the mirror and the shoulder, and I just remembered we've acquired some secondhand mirrors, and if we mount them on plywood, we've got a small indoor space where we can ride, but mounting them on plywood, kind of back, we can get it not in the to where it's back off the wall a little bit, set back in. They should be safe to mount a regular mirror that's made out of glass on plywood.
Yeah, I mean, those are not backed off down there. And,
Good point, yeah.
you know, Lori,
We've got like a small 2-inch shelf around our arena. I just realized it, just like how your shelf is. And it's, what is it, Mom? 15 meters by like 20 meters that it can ride when the weather's bad, and we could put mirrors up.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a safe thing to do.
Absolutely. And if you've only got enough mirrors, like you don't have the whole wall or you don't have enough mirrors put on the side, then I would just say make sure that you have, how many mirrors do you have?
Probably 4
or 5 now.
5 that are maybe like a 4x8.
Okay. So that you would tip them sideways.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay. So get one on the end of each track.
Okay.
Because then you can see yourself coming and going.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you happen to acquire more and you've got like a solid wall on the end, like is down here, just keep adding.
Okay.
Because then like you can do stuff like, even if like down there before I added on to the arena, there was a big double opening door down there.
Oh,
So we had no mirrors in the middle. But I could turn on the center line and like try to do half pass, and I missed like the beginning of the half pass if I was going from the center line, but then the last 2/3 of it I was able to see. Or I could turn on the quarter line and see the beginning of it clear to the end.
Yeah.
And that'll really, really, really help you with your alignment, keeping your horse straight, whether you're on 3 tracks, 2 tracks, whether you're shoulder 4, somewhere in between, 4 tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's the mirrors, the thing is about mirrors is you can put together your feeling with the visual. And you can do it in the moment. These are great, but tell me, how many times have you been looking at this thinking, I got to fix that the next time I get on?
Yep.
And then you get on and you go to fix it and it's like, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the beauty of mirrors is that you can, if you're trying to do shouldering and you know you're supposed to be on 3 tracks and you're way on 4 tracks and you're actually doing leg yield down the long side, you're going to know it right away. And then you can look down there, you see your horse is on 3 tracks, and then you can look at the horse and say, okay, it looks like this. That is on 3 tracks, and it looks like this in front of me. And then it feels like this. So, yeah. The sooner you can do that, the better. Absolutely.
We did have one other question. Saddles.
Oh, yeah,
Saddle. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what to buy.
That will work.
Secondhand.
perfect.
Let me grab my iPad.
Tell you what, yeah, get off of him.
Hi, Cammy, he's a good boy.
Let's